Ladies and gents, it is an exciting day. I am going to be delivering the most expensive vehicle I've ever sold in my 19-year career with Chevrolet. The 2025 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 3LZ package that you see right here in front of you. This was a custom factory order for one of my clients, and in his video, I'm just gonna go through the spec, everything he picked out, and really the final price of what this car cost. The first thing I want to point out is the obvious, right? The gray color, the sea wolf gray tint coat. Now, it's a funny story because the customer actually was originally ordering a Stingray convertible in the same color, the sea wolf gray, but it was on constraint for 2 of our allocations. And with the wait to get that allocation, we got to the point where we were going to start building 2025s, and that's when he said, you know, listen, if I'm going to go big, I'm going to go big, and I'm just going to order exactly what I want in a Z06. So when we got a Z06 allocation, we were able to submit it for him, and this is the final product. Again, the sea wolf gray, well worth the wait. You know, I don't know if you could tell on camera here, I'm going to try to capture it, but the amount of metallic in this paint is really amazing, and it's the different colors of metallic. You know, I'm seeing what looks like greens, I'm seeing what looks like either purples or like maybe a light red. We're seeing gold. You know, there's a lot of metallic in this paint, which really looks nice, especially with the sun beating on it. And then when you go to the shadowed side of the vehicle, you get like a completely different look, because now you just see what looks like a slate gray or a battleship gray or something like that. So really good color. I'm glad he waited, and when he first saw it, he was amazed. And I know once he drives it, he's truly going to be amazed. We all know the specs. 5.5 flat plane crank V8, 670 horsepower. Car does 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, the quarter mile in 10.6 at 131. Most people buy these cars, they never even come close to achieving those sort of numbers, but it's just nice to have the biggest, baddest car on the block. And I'll tell you, I took this to the gas station to fill it up. It's only about a half a mile there, half a mile back. You know, I baby the car when I'm on my way. We don't want anything to go wrong. We don't want anything to happen. But I can tell you, just in that short trip up Route 10 and back, you can tell this car wants to get up and go. It wants to be fast. It wants to move. Just at like idle and normal driving speeds, it feels considerably different to the standard Stingray, and it's awesome. All right, so let's break down the spec. This is a 2025. It is a convertible Z06 3LZ package. Base MSRP before adding any options to the vehicle, $132,650. Now, before we add any options, we got to add $3,000, you know, for this right here, the fuel that you're going to be putting in. This has a $3,000 gas guzzler tax. The fuel economy, if you're interested, 12 city, 19 highway with a combined average of 14 miles per gallon. The next thing we're going to add is that pesky destination fee of $16.95. It's on the window sticker. So when we add up the base price, the gas guzzler tax, and that destination fee, you are $137,345 before adding any options to the car. Actually, let me correct that, because the Sea Wolf Gray is actually $995. So you have to pay for that color. So if you want the car to show up in that color, you are now at $138,340. Again, before adding any options to the car whatsoever. But that's the fun part. So let's get to it. Let's break it down. And let's start with the most expensive option on the car, which is the carbon fiber aero, which is all the visible carbon fiber aero. So for $10,495, we're going to start with the high wing spoiler. Again, visible carbon fiber. It looks amazing. I've actually never seen this on a car here in person, so I'm very glad the customer decided to add it. You know, you couldn't go carbon flash aero, but the visible carbon fiber, you know, it just looks really nice, and it really just sets the car apart from you know, from other cars without it. You also get up front the front ground effects in carbon fiber, and then this also has the dive planes. So you get like a whole different looking aggressive front end, and again, visible carbon fiber, just giving it that extra, you know, extra prestige, if you will. And then of course you get your ground effects down the side of the car, again, visible carbon fiber. Since we're talking about carbon fiber, we're going to open the door, we're going to look inside, because for $19.95 the customer added the Corvette carbon fiber door sill plates, and for $4,995 he also added the level 2 interior carbon fiber trim, which gives you all the carbon fiber visible obviously on the door panels. You have it on the steering wheel, you have it on the surround for the gauge cluster, your paddles are carbon fiber. The whole interior center channel here is carbon fiber, and then obviously on the other side of the door you're also getting the carbon fiber on these GT2 seats, which is something that you know, just dresses them up very nicely. This package looks great. It really looks good in the Artemis interior, which we're going to touch on a little bit later. But again, $4,995 for carbon fiber level 2 interior trim package. Back to the outside of the car here, you'll notice it looks different because the sun is behind the clouds. Gives you a whole different look of the color. You don't have that big pop of that metallic like you do with the direct sunlight, but you'll notice he has body color accents. So you don't have the black trim along the side here, you have it as body color. Your rear vent is body color, and if you look at the back here, these vents are also body color. Now on this particular spec, I really like that because of the carbon fiber, the visible carbon fiber we were talking about earlier. I think it highlights that more because you're not taking away from the carbon fiber with all the black accents like you would normally see on the front of the car and that sort of thing. It's like your eye goes gray and right to carbon fiber. The only carbon flash you really see on the vehicle is the front emblem here in carbon flash, the mirrors in carbon flash, and then of course this lower panel on the back of the car, which is carbon flash, you know, on all the cars. I think that was a very great option and a very good choice on his part. If I didn't mention it, which I may have, it was $995 for that option, as well as the wheels, which are $995. Now these wheels are the Spider Design Pearl Nickel Forged Aluminum wheels. You'll also notice we have the Edge Red calipers, which he added, which is $695. To match those Edge Red brake calipers for $275, he did add the red Z06s on the side panels, and the red Corvette script in the back here for $395. While we're back here, I should point out the black exhaust tips are $395. The carbon flash painted mirrors are $195, and the dark stealth crossed flags are $225. To protect the underside of the front end, he did spend the $25.95 and add the front lift. Again, you hit one button, the car is going to lift 2 inches, and it can remember up to 1,000 different GPS locations. So when you get back to that spot another time, it'll just lift itself. You don't actually have to hit the button. He also spent the $895 to add the armor grills here that are behind. If you can see, it's like a honeycomb pattern, and that's obviously on the right side, in the center, and on the left side as well. It's gonna help protect those radiators inside there, not let a lot of stones and debris get through those bigger openings. You know, an extra level of protection, which is really worth the money on a car like this. He did actually spend the $100 for the black tow hook and $125 for the battery protection package. So we're gonna put those in the trunk, make sure he has those with him. And that, I think, is about it. Let me just double check. We got the base there, we got the visible carbon fiber, and the extra, and we got the color front sill plate color accents. Looks like we got it all. No, oh, one more thing. For $425, there are cargo liners and all-weather floor liners on the inside. We had our little thank you for your business protective mat over it. There you go, with the Jake skull on the mat and the Corvette symbol. So it's the 2 front mats, and then there should also be a cargo liner, which I'm assuming is in the back. Let's take a look. It is not in the back. We do have the carpeted floor mats in the back as well. Let's see if it's in the front. That's the front plate bracket. Huh. I'm gonna have to check the parts department and see. Because this says all-weather floor liners and contoured cargo area liners. So we must have one more box for them in the parts department. But that's it. What do you think? How do you like this spec? And we're going to look at it a little further. I'm going to show the interior. We're going to get a start on it as well. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments on this build, on this spec. What do you think? sound amazing, and every time I started this car, I realized that my personal car needs some sort of an exhaust. Now I know it will never sound like this, but that extra volume, that extra sound really is great. And this, coming from a guy who loves electric vehicles. Okay, now the Artemis interior. What do you think? We have a good little opportunity here to take a look at it with sun on it and with sun not on it, so you can kind of get the difference of the way the colors will look. I really think it looks great. It has a grayish greenish look to it, and because this is a 3LZ, everything has that Alcantara, the whole roof liner, behind the seats, like around the window surrounds, even the panels here. So it really looks nice. That carbon fiber looks great, you know, both on that center portion, the wheel. This really is just a fantastic car. It's a beauty. I really like it. And it's funny, this came in and then I started going on Chevy.com and building versions of my own to see if I went with the Z06, what would I build? My build looks like this. When we add up all the options on this vehicle and its entire spec, the grand total MSRP, $164,135. Who knows, maybe one day I'll trade in my C8 and I'll get myself a Z06. For now, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. I just crossed 30,000, which is pretty cool. We're on our way to, you know, wherever we get. So if you want to help out, hit that button. I truly appreciate it.